Admiral James Harrison stood motionless on the bridge of the UES Retribution, staring at the holographic display. His weathered face, normally composed even in the most dire situations, had drained of all color. "Sir," his executive officer prompted quietly. Harrison couldn't speak. The footage looped again, a Vexarid patrol ship opening fire on an unarmed civilian transport near Europa. The transport carried 12 passengers. Among them was Harrison's 8-year-old grandson Tommy, returning from a school trip to the Jupiter colonies. There were no survivors. The Galactic Council is claiming it was a misidentification, the intelligence officer reported, her voice tight with barely contained fury. They're offering reparations. Harrison finally found his voice. Reparations, he echoed hoppily. The word felt like poison in his mouth. For 2 centuries, humanity had been the newcomers to the galactic stage, tolerated but never fully respected by the Vexari Empire, which had dominated interstellar politics for millennia. Humans were considered too aggressive, too unpredictable to be granted full rights within the Galactic Council. Earth had swallowed its pride, played by their rules, and waited for acceptance. That wait had just ended. The Vexari High Command did not understand the significance of what their patrol had done. In their culture, the loss of offspring, while regrettable, was considered a statistical inevitability in the vastness of space. They had miscalculated badly. On Earth, an emergency session of the United Earth Parliament was convened. The vote was unanimous, the first time in 70 years. Within hours, dormant military protocols that had existed only as contingencies were activated. Warehouses buried beneath the lunar surface opened. Defense contractors who had been quietly developing technologies the Vexari had forbidden received encrypted activation codes. From every human colony, from Mars to Proxima Centauri, the response was the same: all-out war. High Commander Velox of the Vexari Imperial Fleet sneered at the human ambassador's final transmission before communications were severed. "You killed a child," the ambassador had said simply. "Now you will understand what that means to us." "They are primitives," Velox told his war council. "Their military capacity is precisely known and thoroughly contained. This emotional outburst will be crushed within days." His chief strategist looked less certain. The human phrase they're using across their networks, "Remember Tommy, it's spreading rapidly." A meaningless slogan Velox dismissed. "Prepare the pacification fleet." The first Vexari outpost fell 12 hours later. It wasn't supposed to be possible. The outpost's defenses had been designed to withstand attacks from civilizations far more advanced than humans. Yet it happened anyway. The humans hadn't used conventional weapons. Instead, they deployed what they called gray tech, technologies developed in secret, specifically designed to exploit weaknesses in Vexari systems that the Empire didn't know existed. By the end of the first week, 17 outposts had gone silent. How? Emperor Zax demanded, his chromatic scales flashing in agitation. "How did they hide this level of military technology from us?" The intelligence director bowed low. "They didn't build warships, Your Eminence. They built mining vessels, research ships, and transport crafts, all with systems that could be rapidly converted for military use. Our treaties prohibited weapons, so they built other things. And their pilots, their soldiers, they have no experience in warfare." An uncomfortable silence fell over the council chamber. "That is incorrect, Emperor," the intelligence director finally admitted. "Humans have never stopped training for war. Their entertainment, their games, their simulations. They've been preparing their population for this moment for generations." 3 months into what was now being called the Tommy War, Admiral Harrison stood on the bridge of the Retribution again. This time he was looking at the Vexari homeworld through the view screen. "They're broadcasting a full surrender, sir," his communications officer reported. "The Emperor is offering unconditional terms." Harrison nodded. "Inform Earth Command." His executive officer approached. "Sir, what happens now?" Harrison watched the blue-green planet turning slowly before them. In just 90 days, humanity had dismantled an empire that had stood for 50,000 years. The other races of the galaxy were watching in stunned silence. Now, Harrison said quietly, "We rebuild, but differently this time." 6 months later, a new Galactic Council convened. Races that had been subjugated by the Vexari for millennia now sat as equals with humans at the table. The Vexari themselves were present too, though their territory had been reduced to a single star system. The first resolution before this new council, announced the human representative, is the Children's Accord. It establishes that the deliberate or negligent harm of any child of any species is a crime against all species. The vote was unanimous. On Earth, in a small town by the sea, a memorial garden was planted. At its center stood a simple statue, a young boy looking up at the stars. The plaque bore a single name, Tommy. Beside it, a second plaque carried the words that had become humanity's introduction to the wider galaxy. We came in peace. We will stay in strength. Never forget what we are capable of when provoked. Never forget Tommy. The galaxy never did.